scariest guy in the UFC is from Chechnya, Khamzat Chimaev. He is a fucking animal. Khamzat Chimaev is the #1 contender in the UFC's middleweight division. He's a monster, and he's so aggressive, like relentlessly aggressive. He's known to get in fights like backstage and just an animal. And like in post-fight interviews, he's like, I killed them all! I killed them all!
I don't want to be the guy that held the belt for longer, but I fought a guy that was ranked #7 because #1 got injured and he was the only guy that's going to take the fight. I want to fight the best of the best, and that is what I've been doing. If you go look at me and Khamzat, he's 8 wins in the UFC, I'm 9. Just go compare our resumes. It's not even, it's ridiculous.
Double. Double. Double jab right.
With just less than 4 days left in UFC 319, Dricus du Plessis is confident to defend his middleweight belt against Khamzat Chimaev. This much-awaited encounter has caught the attention of everyone as DDP is once again the underdog in this fight. Khamzat Chimaev also talked about his matchup with DDP and dismisses the idea that Dricus du Plessis has a strange fighting style, saying it's simply MMA. He acknowledges DDP as a good fighter who does his job well, but confidently says, "I'm better."
What do you think about Dricus, right? Because sometimes you look at his fights and he fights in a very weird way, a strange style. When you look at him, do you think, man, this guy's very good, or this guy's just very strange?
Oh, everyone says it's a weird style, weird. That's MMA style, you know? So I don't think it's some crazy weird, but he does his job, he does good, and he's a good fighter. But I'm better.
On the other hand, Dricus du Plessis says fans have only seen a fraction of his true abilities as he continues to grow into his full potential. He credits experience and constant improvement for transforming him since his debut and remains committed to refining every skill in pursuit of an ideal performance, even if perfection is unattainable.
Then again, I'm not fighting at perfect. I'm fighting at a 6 out of 10 here. I'm still far away from giving the performance that I know I can. I'm far away of being the striker that I know I can be, the wrestler and the grappler. You know, when you get into fights, because of situations, you know, the fighter that I know I can be, how I can strike, it's difficult to do it in a fight. But you know, as my career goes, the Dricus that made his debut versus Dricus that fought the last time is two very different people, and I keep evolving and getting better, and that's why I feel I'm chasing the perfect round, the perfect fight, doing everything to perfection in a fight. I think it's impossible, but it's worth chasing.
Dricus du Plessis believes his grappling is overlooked because it hasn't been showcased much. He recalls Robert Whittaker landing a takedown, but he quickly escapes, reverses the position, and controls the ground with strikes and submission threats, proving he is a complete fighter and the best in the sport.
Do you think people are underestimating your grappling?
Absolutely. I think I just don't think people have seen a lot of it, so it changes the game. I think if, you know, Khamzat mentioned it, he said, Robert Whittaker took me down. He did. He got a good time takedown. I got up very easily. You know, when Rob took me down, I got up with no problems, took him down, and I dominated him on the floor in a way where I was landing, I cut him, I was landing massive elbows. The threat of the choke was there the whole time, and the round ended, and I'm sure if that round didn't end at that stage, it would have been the end of the fight right there. But yeah, I mean, I guess people haven't seen too much of my grappling and wrestling that much, but at the end of the day, I'm a complete MMA fighter, and that's why I'm the best in the world.
Dricus du Plessis also claimed that he is ready to make history again and shock the world by breaking the so-called boogeyman. He insists there can only be one true boogeyman in the middleweight division, and it will be him.
He is a special fighter. He's incredibly good, but jeez, I can't wait. This win for me is going to be history. I am going out there and I'm going to shock the world once again. Like every other time, and everybody said, it's impossible, not this guy. And I'm going to go out there and you're going to see the boogeyman. You're going to see him break. You're going to see him break in there. And then realize there's only one boogeyman, and that's me. In the middleweight division, there can be only one boogeyman, and that will be me.
On the other hand, Michael Bisping praised Khamzat Chimaev's elite wrestling, noting his ability to shoot from an unusually long distance and still secure takedowns thanks to his speed and power. He said Chimaev's explosiveness and strength made him nearly impossible to stop once he got his hands on an opponent.
Khamzat Chimaev is just ridiculous, right? The wrestling on this guy is phenomenal. The way that he shoots a double leg and closes and covers so much distance, it's wild. He shoots from so far out that it shouldn't work, but he's so explosive and so powerful, he makes it work. He closes the distance, and all he needs to do is get a hold of you. So I assume that Khamzat is also ridiculously strong as well, because he's fast, powerful, he's explosive, he's got good wrestling, and if he gets his hands on you, you're going down, okay?
Michael Bisping describes Dricus du Plessis as a big, strong fighter who's tough to take down. He believes the smartest strategy against Khamzat Chimaev is to meet him head on. While Chimaev will likely secure a takedown once he gets a grip, Bisping says du Plessis must make him work for it and focus on attacking to keep Chimaev moving backward.
Now, Dricus is a big dude. He's not going to be easy to take down. Dricus is going to play him at his own game, and that's exactly what he's got to do. You can't run away from Khamzat Chimaev, okay? The man's going to get you. He's going to get a hold of you, and he's going to try and take you down, and he's probably going to be successful. So what do? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to meet him head on. You're going to fight him at his own game, and that's exactly what Dricus du Plessis said that he's going to do. He will get a hold of you, and he probably will take you down. So meet him head on. Make him work for it. The best form of defense is attack. Put Khamzat Chimaev on the back foot.
Michael Bisping also said Khamzat Chimaev has shown signs of tiring in the past, but continues to fight the same way due to his confidence in finishing opponents quickly. He explained that Chimaev believes he only needs a minute, 2 minutes, or at most 1 round to end a fight by submission or knockout. Bisping described him as a special fighter, but admitted cardio could be a concern, noting that Chimaev now has a new strength and conditioning coach and is pushing himself to the limit.
Khamzat Chimaev has got tired in the past, but he still chooses to fight the same way. That's because he believes in his ability. He believes that all he needs is a minute or 2 minutes, or certainly at tops, 1 round with a guy, and he will put them down and he will finish them. And if he doesn't submit them, then he will knock them out. This is the self-belief that Khamzat Chimaev has. He is a very special fighter. However, the cardio could be an issue. We've spoken about that at length. He's got a new strength and conditioning coach. He's pushing himself to the limit.
Moreover, former UFC champion Rampage Jackson ranked Khamzat Chimaev among the best fighters to train at their gym. Even in the short time he observed him, Jackson saw Chimaev dominating his training partners and described him as an absolute beast.
One person who's training inside the gym is Khamzat Chimaev. Compared to all the bodies you've seen come through the gym, where does he stack up?
Man, he's one of the best. You know, we had Khalil Browntree coming there. He's a beast as well. You got what's his name? In Lukin. What's his name? Arman and Lukin.
Arman Sarukian.
God damn it, I mess up everybody's name. Arman Sarukian.
Sarukian.
Yeah, he's a beast too. Yeah, but Khamzat, man, he a beast, man. I saw him for a couple of seconds over there, man. He was murking people. He a beast, bro.
Rampage Jackson said Khamzat Chimaev was unlike anyone he had faced, calling him a completely different kind of fighter. However, he noted that Chimaev's relentless work ethic reminded him of Michael Bisping, who was known for pushing himself to the limit in training.
Who do you compare that to? You fought the who's who. You've been inside the octagon with John Jones. Who does Khamzat Chimaev remind you of, if anybody at all?
No, he don't. No, he's a different animal. But his work ethic reminds me of Michael Bisping, though.
Okay.
Yeah, Michael Bisping was always an animal in the gym. That's why I love training with that kid.
Meanwhile, Dricus du Plessis head coach sent a strong message to Khamzat Chimaev, saying they weren't looking to avoid his wrestling, but planned to dominate him instead. He claimed Chimaev only fought opponents who tried to escape his wrestling, while their game plan was to confront him directly and overwhelm him. He dismissed Chimaev's striking as one-dimensional and said it posed no threat to them, declaring that they weren't worried about Chimaev. They were the real challenge.
Khamzat doesn't know what it is when people want to wrestle him. He's only facing guys who's trying to get away from his wrestling. We don't want to try to get away from his wrestling. We want to him up in his game. You can't think that you're going to beat my guy coming with one thing, and that's wrestling. That guy's one-dimensional. Have you seen his stand-up? I won't even give him a pro license for his stand-up. He doesn't present any problem for us. We are the problem.
Coach Morten Visser also suggested that Khamzat Chimaev's trademark fast start wouldn't be a problem, hinting they might even flip the script and attack first. He believed that if Dricus du Plessis applied the early pressure, it could completely change the fight's dynamic.
Khamzat is known for sort of rushing at people in the first 2 rounds. What do you see those 2 rounds? What do you see those 2 rounds look like when Dricus gets in there?
No, let him rush. That's to say, if we don't rush him, what's he gonna do if he rushes Dricus? He's just gonna rip his head off. But don't be surprised if we rush him first.
Meanwhile, Michael Venom Page said he was baffled by Dricus du Plessis' ongoing success, describing his style as messy and unpolished. He remarked that du Plessis often appeared more like a talented amateur than an experienced pro, yet still managed to keep winning. Page admitted that if the fight with Khamzat Chimaev had happened earlier, he would have easily picked Chimaev, but with du Plessis repeatedly proving himself, he now found the prediction far less certain.
I genuinely don't understand why DDP keeps winning, because he's got such a kind of almost messy, he's like a super talented amateur fighter, and I can see like aspects of his technical ability, but it seems messy. Like it's not a style that is appealing to me, but he just seems to know how to get the win and know how to kind of push through. In all honesty, if this fight came up before, I'd be like, Khamzat, yeah, no, I'd just pick that, no issues. But DDP just knows how to keep grinding out a win. So for me, it's a hard one to even pick.
In another video, Michael Page admitted the matchup was hard to predict. While he would normally lean toward Khamzat Chimaev, he noted that Dricus du Plessis had a habit of proving people wrong. Page said there was clearly something special about du Plessis, as every time he picked against him, du Plessis ended up winning.
DDP and Khamzat, who do you reckon is going to win? It's just hard to say. I would normally say Khamzat would win this fight. But DDP, I don't get how he keeps winning. Obviously, there's something about him because he keeps winning. Even that is an art, knowing how to win. Every time I put my money against him, he always comes up on top.
On the other hand, Khabib Nurmagomedov shared his thoughts on Dricus du Plessis defending his middleweight title against Khamzat Chimaev. He described du Plessis as a tough, relentless fighter who applies constant pressure with a high output. While not the most precise striker, Khabib noted that du Plessis stays busy with non-stop punches and kicks and rarely remains stationary.
Он интересный соперник. Он очень крепкий, он будет драться. Такой своеобразный кикбоксинг, руки-ноги выкидывать. Вот что хорошо, вот что плохо у Дю Плесси, такой точный, но он очень много выкидывает. Он постоянно выкидывает руки-ноги, постоянно он в атаке, если вы смотрели. Даже Стрикландом. Я в этом бою конкретно ошибся. Я думал, что Стрикланд своим давлением все он должен взять. Но он его перебил. Перебил как своим. Он очень много накидывает, он не стоит. Бывают такие бойцы, вот они заходят, он так думает, кидает, смотрит. А бывают такие, не так сильно у них техника, но он очень много накидывает.
Khabib advised Khamzat Chimaev to keep the fight standing against Dricus du Plessis, believing Chimaev to be the better striker in pure boxing exchanges. He cautioned against pushing too hard early, warning that if Chimaev failed to secure a finish, he might gas out. Khabib also noted that Chimaev had never been tested in the later rounds, whereas du Plessis had real experience going the distance.
Я думаю, что мое личное мнение, я бы Хамзату посоветовал бы, чтобы он в стойке дрался с ним. Вот чисто по боксу пустых, Хамзат лучше. Вот чисто по боксу. Это мое мнение. Просто здесь есть такой момент. Ты можешь сфорсировать события. Там раунд, 2. Но если ты его не финишируешь, ты очень много энергии потратишь. А потом надо в чемпионских боях.
Раунды, да.
А Хамзат не был в чемпионских раундах. По-моему, не был никогда.
В 5 не был.
Не был. А этот пацан последние сколько? 4 года? Еще до чемпионства, еще в главных боях.
Опыт у него колоссальный.
Да, у него опыт большой, надо учитывать. Просто, когда ты готовишься к такому бою, ты должен рассматривать все сценарии. Ты не можешь, я зайду и откручу. Ты должен смотреть, а если вот так пойдет, а если вот так пойдет, а если вот сюда зайдем. Ты должен все сценарии смотреть.
Former UFC champion Daniel Cormier admitted that he, like many others, once doubted Dricus du Plessis' technical skills, but had since recognized how effective and dangerous he truly was. He compared DDP to Homer Simpson, doing everything wrong yet still winning, and expressed surprise at how du Plessis overwhelmed Israel Adesanya and dominated Sean Strickland. Cormier stressed that DDP's unorthodox style clearly worked and said it was time people respected his size, strength, and skill.
DDP and Khamzat Chimaev.
Yeah.
Who emerges from that?
DDP, man, he is something else, bro. For so long we thought he just was bad. He's not. He's really good. He's like really, really good.
Did you ever see that thing with him and like he's like they show like a clips of Homer Simpson like doing everything wrong and somehow winning, and they kind of show like the same.
Good, dude.
That is
bro.
hilarious.
He was just. I thought like I was like, okay, so Izzy's gonna just counter him. He's too good. And he got Izzy bad. He was all over Izzy. I mean, he put it on Sean Strickland bad.
Yeah.
That last time. Like,
yeah, you gotta respect that style.
He's good, man. He's so big, he's so strong, and he's good.
Daniel Cormier said that in a fast-paced fight, Khamzat Chimaev would likely hold the advantage over Dricus du Plessis. However, if the bout extended into the later rounds, he believed the matchup would become far more interesting. Cormier felt du Plessis was built to handle the full 25 minutes, while Chimaev still had to prove he could sustain that same level of endurance over 5 grueling rounds.
Now, Khamzat, in a sprint, can't stay with him. DDP can't stay with him. But I think if the fight goes long, it starts to get interesting. Because I think Dricus is there for 25 minutes. Khamzat needs to be there for 25 minutes also.
Daniel Cormier also feels that after Khamzat Chimaev's dominant win over Robert Whittaker, the odds rightfully leaned in his favor against Dricus du Plessis. He noted that Chimaev being around a -180 favorite seemed reasonable, but admitted he had stopped underestimating du Plessis after the impressive performances he had delivered in recent fights.
Who do you think right now it favors? Because I know you can't make obviously a prediction, but who do you think it favors right now? Because looking at the way Khamzat just disposed of Robert Whittaker.
Robert Whittaker was crazy. So I think, and DDP is gonna be like, what the hell, dude? I think when the line comes out, and I'm pretty sure it's out already, you guys can check it. Khamzat will probably be a favorite. And I think it's because of what you see.
Yeah, -180.
Khamzat is -180. And I think just when you look at it, that's probably
pretty big
about right. But I don't know, man. I'm done doubting Dricus du Plessis.
Furthermore, UFC legend Kamaru Usman called the matchup one of the year's biggest must-see fights, saying both fighters bring unmatched toughness. He viewed it as a clash between two warriors at their peak, promising non-stop action with the potential to become an instant classic.
Khamzat Chimaev, an incredible fighter, very, very, very tough fighter. Has been hit with a few tests. Obviously, myself, obviously Burns. So and he's passed. So I'm excited to see how that fight goes with himself and Dricus du Plessis. I think that's a phenomenal fight. Both guys tough, extremely tough. So that's one of the fights I'm looking forward to the most this year.
Kamaru Usman warned against underestimating Khamzat Chimaev, noting that it has cost fighters in the past. He pointed to Chimaev's rare blend of power and talent as a nightmare for anyone at 185, saying he could shake up the division and take the belt before anyone even realizes it.
At 185, listen, I told you guys, don't sleep on Khamzat. When he was fighting Robert Whittaker, everyone said, oh yeah, Whittaker's gonna get him. Hey, don't sleep on him. Khamzat's extremely talented, extremely strong. He can shock anyone.
Kamaru Usman also expressed deep respect for Dricus du Plessis, acknowledging the difficult journey he took to reach the top. He said every champion deserves recognition for the battles they've fought and the risks they've taken. For Usman, this fight is more than hype. It's about honoring.
But Dricus du Plessis, you can't sleep on him as well. He's the champion for a reason, taking out 3 champions back to back to back. So hey, respect to all those guys. I respect every one of these fighters. I know people at home were spectators and were fans, and they like to just kind of talk, oh, he had a bad performance, he had a boring one. But hey, you have to respect each and every one of these guys that's willing to get in here, in little bitty gloves and damn near underwear and bare their soul in here. So you have to respect that.
Meanwhile, Tito Ortiz said fans would be eager to see how dangerous Khamzat Chimaev truly was. He praised Chimaev as a monster, but felt Dricus du Plessis might surprise him, warning that Chimaev could be in for a wake-up call if his wrestling failed, and noted that Russian fighters often blend wrestling and striking seamlessly, using one to set up the other before securing takedowns and finishes.
How do you predict that fight plays out?
People are going to see how vicious Chimaev truly is. I respect the guy. He's a monster. Du Plessis, the champ, I think he's in him for a rude awakening because he's going to realize that his wrestling is not as good as Chimaev's truly is. And it was heartbreaking for me in that middleweight division because when Bo Nichols got picked apart his last fight, I was like, man, why didn't you wrestle? You're one of the best guys in the world in wrestling. Use your wrestling. And that's what all the Russians do. They use their wrestling to set up punches. They use their punches to set up the wrestling, and then they take people down and they choke them because they're really good at it.
Tito Ortiz predicted the fight would not go the distance, expecting Khamzat Chimaev to break Dricus du Plessis down within 3 or 4 rounds due to his relentless pressure. He said he had followed Chimaev's career closely and was impressed by his toughness. Ortiz also shared that Rampage Jackson, who trained with Chimaev in California, confirmed he was the real deal. He was especially struck by Chimaev's explosiveness, noting he could shoot for a takedown from halfway across the cage and still land it.
I think Chimaev, I would give it maybe 4 rounds, 3 to 4 rounds, 3 to 4 rounds. I think Chimaev just overwhelms him too much. I think that's my opinion. Once again, I watch him. I watch Chimaev. I just see how tough he is, and I know he had training camp actually at Jackson clothing company or Jackson in California, correct? And was it
With Bear and Rampage is also there.
Yep. And so I know he's doing really well. I talked to Rampage. Rampage goes, no, he's the real deal, Tito. I go, I see him. Like, I watch his fights and how vicious. I mean, he can shoot a double leg from half the cage and still take a guy down.
Former UFC champion Robert Whittaker also believes Dricus du Plessis has the tools to hand Khamzat Chimaev his first loss. He sees the matchup as a test of toughness and resilience that could turn into a thrilling, unpredictable battle. Whittaker felt every moment had the potential to swing the momentum, and the fighter who kept pressing forward would likely claim victory. For him, this was the kind of clash that revealed who truly belonged among the division's elite.
Khamzat and Dricus fighting for the belt in just over a month's time. What are your initial thoughts on that matchup?
Honestly, I'd have to say Dricus would be a favorite. I think I'm leaning towards Dricus. The whole thing can be summed up. Chimaev will take him down. Will he finish him before he gets back up? That's the $1 million question. Because if he doesn't finish him on the ground, yeah. Wait and see.
Elijah Smith also picked Dricus du Plessis to win, citing Khamzat Chimaev's inconsistency with time off from injuries or illness. He described du Plessis as a powerful and unpredictable striker who stays strong even when tired. Smith noted that while Chimaev starts fast, he often fades in later rounds, and in a 5-round fight, that would favor DDP.
Ooh, I got DDP. I just think, like, Cosma, he's been out for a while. I mean, yeah, I want to say for a while, but he's always in and out. A lot of times he's hurt, or I don't know what's going on. He's sick a lot. And DDP, for some reason, when he looks like he gets tired, he's actually not tired. And he's a strong, good striking, wild guy. And I think Cosma, he comes out in that first round pretty strong. But as the fight goes on, I think DDP ends up winning that fight, just because we've seen Cosma kind of gas out a little bit, get tired in the later rounds, just because he comes out so hard, and it's a 5-round fight, so that also plays a big factor.
That wraps up today's video, and hopefully you have enjoyed it. Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis promise an epic showdown, and the fans can't wait to witness it. So share your predictions about this matchup in the comments section, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos.